Good evening, and welcome to the Thursday Camera Artist Guild Critique. I am your host, George DeLoache. I'm a portrait artist and photographer's coach, and this is where we help photographers learn to master the photographic arts. Here we do critique. This is where you send your images in, and a second set of eyes takes a look at those images and tries to help you find ways that you can improve the quality of your work. Regardless of whether you're just beginning your love affair with photography or whether you've been like me in love with it for 50 years, there's always room to find new places to grow and develop. Let's get over to the broadcast and take a look at some of those images. Okay, stand by. And kick off the first image. Okay, here we go. First image is Wanda Day Lewis. Wanda and the baby. I'm not sure whether this is your baby or not. I can't remember exactly from the write-up what was said about it, but I mean, you know, lovely little chubby cheek baby. Being a grandfather of a 9-month-old, I just am enamored by babies. When my own kid was born, I guess I was too close to it to really see the joy in the development, but here you've got a great shot there, you know, great expression, and it's all about expression. The little kid is just beginning to develop the ability to smile and to share back facial expressions, so your exposure is on, you caught it well, you caught a nice expression. Baby photography is a real challenge and a real discipline in its own, same way with pet photography or product or wedding or whatever. There's things that you learn in working with babies. So if you're taking your own baby, that's fine. But here, remember to not cut off the hand. You've cropped right through the hand here, right through the knuckle there. We want to see that whole hand. Some of the standard posing goes, even though it's infants, and I know they don't want to pose, and they can't listen, and they don't understand what you're saying, but you just have to have a bunch of patience and work through it with them. So back off a little bit, leave yourself more room around the kid than you think you need, and that will take care of those areas so that when you do crop the image, you'll have enough there to play with. Almost every camera, even crop sensor cameras, are high enough resolution that you can afford to back off a little bit and show the upper torso of the kid. And the only other thing that helps out at the time is to have a baby wrangler or a helper along with you. Keep towels and all like that. Just wipe that spit real quick off the chin and then bam, take that image and it will pop it right on up to the next level. Okay, Wanda, thank you on that one. This one, I love this one. You got a nice chair there. I love the chair. You're working away at it. I think that the image could probably be cropped in a little tighter. I don't think all of the upper chair up there really adds that much to the image. I'm just going to, let's go to a 4x5 crop, which of course is my favorite. You guys probably know that. And let's throw a 4x5 crop in there. And of course you got to watch out for cropping off the hand. Again, the hand is missing. So I'm not going to crop it off there on this one. But something, I wonder, I just, you know, horizontal, no, So let's go back to vertical. I think that's a little stronger image. I would like to see the legs. I like to see the hand. So go to vertical or go to horizontal, go to landscape mode in this one. And I think the image will be a stronger image, and you can afford to lose the top of the chair. It's not going to take away anything from the image. Okay, nice. Thank you, Wanda. Steve Perry. Wow, Steve, you really stepped out and gone to something completely different this time. Steve, we're looking at a still life as opposed to your normal portraits, but this gives you time to work at it. I love doing still lifes like this. Study the work of the great paint masters of the Baroque and the Rococo era, of the Flemish and Dutch painters of the 15th, 16th, and 17th century, and see how they prop, how they compose, and then how they light each image. Now I know you say, well, George, they don't light it, they paint it, but it's just a different medium. Photography is one medium, paint is another medium. We're still working with light and shadow, and color, hue, and luminosity. So check out how they put that together. This is nice, and you've done a lot of cool things with it, but I think it could pop on up to the next level, propping wise, if you just study some of the works of the masters there and try to emulate it. I've done some of it. It is not easy. It seems like it might be easy, but it is a real challenge. So spend your time researching the artwork and then step on into it. But still, it's a nice image, Steve. Thank you. And hey, Diana, I see Diana's in the house. All right, Michael Montgomery, Positive Images. Interesting image. I have with the film movie cinema calls them 𝐥𝐤𝐤, and sometimes cookie cutters, but for the most part it's called a 𝐥𝐤𝐤, which projects a shadow pattern, a window, blinds, other stuff like that on people's faces. I'm not sure whether this is the actual blind or whether you were using a 𝐥𝐤𝐤 to do this, but it is an interesting image, and it's well exposed and well executed. So nice, Michael. Okay, this is another Michael Montgomery. You're up there in Palmdale in the desert, and you and John Harvell both live relatively close to each other out there. And I, for one, do not understand why anybody would want to go out into the desert and tag a rock. That just doesn't register with me. I'm sorry, I just can't understand it. But they tagged it and it's there. I like the direction that you're headed in, but I think knowing how well you can handle your available light and artificial light combination, I think this one's missing an additional light source, or working with the sun you have there and reflectors, or even a silk up there to knock the sun down so you can raise the shadow values. Right now, her face and her arm are in shadow. This arm is leaving this dark bar going across her upper torso, and her whole face is in shadow. The dress is so bright that your eyes go to the dress area and to the funnel rock down there that's getting the sun, and it makes it difficult to see her face and discern any feeling or emotion from the image. Also, she's kind of posed a little backwards. You want most of the weight on that rear leg, and it is kind of, but you want a different torso twist to it so that it brings out an S curve in the torso. The arm overhead pose is a difficult one to pull off. My old teachers used to call that the armpit shot. And so think about it. I think that if you did not want to add, let's say you said, well, if I throw in artificial light, I come in here camera left and I put up a softbox, it's going to illuminate this light and it's not going to look natural. I don't want to do that. The other alternative is to use a silk. A 4x4 or a 4x8 silk that would block the sun here, and in blocking the sun it would tone down the sun, drop the sun a couple of stops, and dropping the sun a couple of stops, it would allow this area now to come into closer ratio between the sun and it. Of course, it means setting up a silk and going through the effort to go there, but it's a possibility, and just takes a little time to set it up. Sunlighter has a thing they call the sun swatter, which can be held by one person, and it's on a pole with a big translucent sheet. What a silk is a translucent sheet of varying opacity, depending upon whether it's a one or a half stop or whatever, and it acts as the same thing as it does on diffusion on the front of a softbox. It does with the sun. It diffuses it and it reduces its volume.